What's up everyone? So today's video is going to be on Jeremy Ethier. Yes, it is Ethier. That is how he pronounces his name, so that is how I will say his name. It's not Ethier, it's Ethier. He's French-Canadian, and that is how it's pronounced. So I made sure to look at his videos to find a video where he said his own name, which was actually kind of difficult. He's not like some people who announces their names every single video. So this is one of the most requested videos that I've gotten. I've gotten this video requested for like legit 6 months, basically my entire YouTube career. However, I was going to push it off for a little bit, at least a few more weeks, simply because I feel like I just did Alan Thrall. Well, not did Alan Thrall, I did a video on Alan Thrall. However, something happened recently which is sort of noteworthy, so I wanted to do this video a little bit ahead of schedule. So what happened was that Jeremy put out a video on burning calories, on cardio. And he said that because you adapt to the cardio, you will burn fewer calories over time as you become more efficient. Now, Greg Doucette saw this, and he actually picked it apart. And it turns out that Jeremy misinterpreted the science. He read something in a paper, or perhaps he read a summary of the paper, and he got it wrong. He got it very much wrong, and his entire video was sort of just not quite accurate. And Greg was extremely pissed off because Greg has actually endorsed Jeremy in the past. He's pushed traffic towards his channel, towards his site, etc. So he was very, very angry that Jeremy had made this sort of rookie mistake, or even that it wasn't even a mistake, that he did this on purpose. More spews for more views, just saying BS to get more people to watch the video. However, I do think this was an honest mistake. I think he just messed up the numbers, or he didn't really read the paper in detail. Perhaps he read an abstract or a summary of the paper, and I do think this was a completely honest mistake. How do I know this? Well, first, he's actually taken the video down, so you can't find this video anymore. And second, he apologized. He actually wrote out a full apology in a post on his channel. I won't read the whole post because it's pretty long, but I will put it on the screen. And this is an amazing apology. And this video was actually going to be very, very negative towards Jeremy, simply because if you have a few million fans, a few million subscribers, you have absolutely a duty to check everything. To check everything, all the numbers, the study, all the details, who the study is on. And so if I read a study, I read it in absolute detail, because often the abstract is not the full picture. Sometimes the abstract is straight up wrong. So it's important to read an entire paper, especially if you have a massive reach, you have a massive amount of influence. But because he did apologize, I actually have more respect for Jeremy now than before this video came out. So I had a pretty high amount of respect for him. His content is always pretty good. When this video came out and then Greg picked it apart, my respect for him dropped quite a bit. But now that he apologized and said it was a mistake and that he's going to get better and he's very disappointed in himself, my respect for him has actually gone back up above where it was before this whole thing started. There's nothing wrong with apologizing. And actually, so many people appreciated this. If you just look at the comments, damn, so much respect, nobody ever does what you just did. It takes really huge balls to admit you were wrong nowadays. We all make mistakes, best of luck, mate. Everyone makes mistakes. It takes a lot of courage and strength to admit you were wrong. I mean, there's just so many of these comments, and 95% of the comments are supportive. And this just shows, if you make a mistake, just admit it. You're gonna come out on top, and people are gonna, forgive you and move on. And they're not only gonna move on, they're gonna move on with a greater respect for you as a person. Do you think people are gonna stop watching his content because he got it wrong one time? No. This isn't gonna affect his channel at all in the long run. And in fact, the controversy, and probably the positive controversy that comes out of this, is gonna be positive for his channel in the long term. So if there are some people out there who made a mistake in a YouTube fitness video from before, and everyone knows you made a mistake, and everyone knows you should apologize, maybe, just maybe, I think everyone knows who I'm talking about, you should just apologize. I know it's difficult, I know you'll lose some respect from some people, but you'll gain respect from the vast majority of other people, okay? So, we all know who I'm talking about. I won't mention any names, but just rip the Band-Aid off and do it. Anyway, back to Jeremy Ethier. This is what the video is about. So, he is a kinesiology grad. He is Canadian, so he actually is sort of like a mini Greg Doucette. He's like a Greg Doucette's child. Maybe well, we don't know. Maybe there's some kind of hospital switching where Greg is actually Jeremy's dad. It would explain why he was so disappointed, right? Right? Maybe? Maybe? Anyway, Jeremy Ethier does have a certification from NASM, National Academy of Sports Medicine, and FMS, Functional Movement Screening, which I haven't heard of, but hey, it's some letters, and letters are always good, right? Again, he's a kinesiology graduate, and his information is generally quite good. It's science-based. He does link studies whenever he can. Often his videos will have dozens of studies linked, which is always good. Keep in mind, this doesn't always mean that he gets the studies right, as we just saw, but generally speaking, I think his information is pretty good. However, he does absolutely have a tendency towards clickbait. I think he generally backs it up, but he walks the line very, very close. I don't think he crosses over it too much, too often, but he is definitely right to the edge of what I would consider too much clickbait. I think click-worthy is good. He usually backs it up, and usually his titles aren't too over the top, but a lot of his thumbnails are just really close. Like they'll say, oh, if you do cardio, you look like this, and it shows a skinny fat person. If you don't do cardio, you look like this, and it shows someone just absolutely shredded. Well, that's not really what cardio does, okay? It's not like you adapt to the cardio a little bit, you burn 20 fewer calories, and then now you get fat. That's not really how reality works. He also tends to use infographics, which personally I'm not really into. I don't really like that infographic style. I think it's almost a little bit childlike. I don't like being... if I want to watch cartoons, I'll go watch Doraemon or something. Like, that's not really my thing. I think it's a little bit childish, but it's clearly very effective, and most people like this style of video. So I'm not going to knock that on his content because clearly it's so popular. I'm personally not really going to do infographics. I don't really have the capability of doing it, nor do I really like how it appears. But it is very effective. Generally, he speaks very clearly, a little bit slowly, but his voice is very calming, very soothing. He's sort of the opposite of Greg Doucette in that way. His voice, again, very, very chill, very chillaxed, like chill and relaxed put together. In terms of his content, it is generally always very well explained, very simple, very easy to understand. The one bad thing I would say is that he oversimplifies things sometimes. So sometimes he will gloss over some areas of a topic that I think really do require some more detail. I think this is just because he's trying to appeal to the masses, so he doesn't want to get bogged down in the details too much. But I think my viewers often would like those details. They want the actual information and the nuance when it comes to a topic. So if you look at most of his videos, they are 5 to maybe 11 minutes long. And often with these types of topics, you just can't quite cover it in complete detail. His recent hiccup is not going to penalize him. It's one bad video out of dozens, if not hundreds, and he admitted it. He said he was sorry. He said he was, disappointed in himself. Honestly, everyone makes mistakes. I'm sure I've made some mistakes with my content in the past as well, and so this doesn't affect his score at all. So I'm going to give him a 56 out of 60 when it comes to content. In terms of marketing, he does push towards his site quite a bit, and on his site he does have these quizzes. So this 1-minute quiz to discover your ideal plan. So you say, I am a male, and then what is your age, and then what is your body type? Are you skinny fat? Are you fat? Are you muscle fat? Are you skinny, muscle, wide, broad, fat, but not that fat? And I think this is generally an oversimplification. I think these quizzes are, I'm skinny fat, I'm half skinny, half fat. What does that even mean? And I think his quizzes, you know, they're interesting, but then it tries to sell you on a program, and it's a cookie cutter plan for $50, which is generally, that's actually about what I charge. That's more than what I charge for a workout plan, to give you a price point. So for someone to cookie cutter plan for more than a custom plan, a little bit much in my opinion. Plus, I've gone into body types, how they are a myth. Jeremy is a kinesiology major, so he should know that this is BS. It's just an excellent way to sell people on a plan. You say, oh, I know your body type. I know how to get you results because I know your body type. Well, the only trouble is that it is BS. So I'm going to give him a 7 for marketing, mostly just because he's not too in your face and he seems like a nice guy. He only spends a very small portion of each video pushing to the site, so it's not too in your face. In terms of knowledge, I'm going to give him an 8.5. This recent hiccup, it does hurt that a little bit, just because, you know, if he's done this once, blatantly very, very, very wrong, you know, how do you know that he hasn't slipped up before? And this is a mistake that should have been very obvious. The wattage was very clear in the cardio workout. The study is very clear. He probably just, you know, perhaps was a little bit lazy and didn't read the whole thing. And, you know, again, if it happens once, who knows how much it has happened on a smaller scale. In terms of his physique, I'm going to give him an 8. I think he looks good. He looks solid. He's pretty lean. He's not super big. But if you ask someone, like, is this guy natural? Almost everyone will say, yes, no doubt he's natural. If someone is saying to a natural bodybuilder, there's no doubt that they're natural, it means they're not very developed. So people have accused me of steroids, they've accused Geoff Nippert of steroids, and the fact that no one is accusing him of steroids, even though he has 2.5 million subscribers, shows that he's not that developed. I think he looks good. He always carries his arms flexed, so you can see his biceps. I've noticed that that's something he does whenever you see him. But I don't think he is super developed. I think he looks good. He looks, you know, certainly far better than the average person. It's a physique many aspire to, but personally, I can't really give him a 9 or a 10. In terms of videos, I'm going to give him a 9.5. Again, I am not into infographics, but I'm going to try to check my bias because clearly it is super, super popular and a lot of people like this style of content. And I think he does put a ton of effort into his videos. He's not putting out 12 videos per week like some people. He's putting out 1 video per week. And the fact that he's willing to take down that 1 video because he made a mistake, honestly, that speaks volumes towards his character. So he clearly puts a lot of time, a lot of passion, a lot of effort, probably a lot of money into each video. He scripts everything out. You can tell everything is written beforehand, unlike me who just sort of wings it. I think this style of content is very commendable and very effective, and so I think he deserves a very high score, hence the 9.5. So all of that adds up to an 89, which is a very good score. Certainly not the highest, but if you're a beginner, if you want more mainstream content, if you want less frequent science-based content, which is generally very good and very accurate, I would say he is a very good person to follow, and you'll probably want to turn on notifications, simply because he's only posting roughly once per week, and so he's not going to flood your notifications like some other channels. I think, generally speaking, he is doing things in the right way, and I just want to commend him for doing the right thing and admitting that he was wrong when he was clearly wrong. I think the fitness industry needs more of this. You don't need to be a hero. People are not looking for a hero. They are not looking for someone who is always right or someone who is perfect. They're looking for someone who is human, someone that they can relate to, someone who they can connect with. And we all make mistakes. And being able to apologize to your fans instead of deleting their comments, that is awesome. And that is very refreshing to see. And honestly, it made me so happy when I saw that he had posted this, simply because it honestly completely changed my idea about him and my idea about the situation. So I think it's a good thing and very much commendable. So hats off to Jeremy for doing the right thing. Good job, buddy. I love your channel. It's really, really good. And I have a lot more respect for you than I did just an hour ago. Alright, that is all for today. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you are not already subscribed for some bizarre reason. Stay safe wherever you are. I will see you next time. Peace.